Goldfinger. Oh,
Wah, wah, wah.
all right. Okay, great timing. Yeah. Oh, great. Well, we're off to a good start. Well, you don't need to know what we're doing. That's what we're doing. The 1964. We're finishing off our Sean Connery mini Sean Connery season with a good old Bond film. It could have been From Russia with Love. It could have been any of the others, but we went with Goldfinger, shamelessly looking for ratings and looking for viewers and likes and interactions and whatever else. Weirdly, on this one, I think Joe is, despite being from across the pond, might be our resident Bond expert. Would you say so, Joe?
Yeah, I think I could say that.
Yeah, I think I can say that. Oh, do you want to introduce yourself, by the way?
Joe.
Yeah.
And I'm Dom.
And
I'm our resident Bond ignoramus. So I'll be staying largely silent throughout this pod while these two fanboys geek out over Bond. But yeah, I've got a few withering observations to make, and then I'll just sit back and get a stick for the rest of the pod, I'm sure.
It's not our first Bond film. We have done License to Kill, haven't we? Haven't we, Joe?
yeah, yep, that's true.
Where I think we agree that I don't know. I know that I think Timothy Dalton's the best Bond. I don't know if you agreed.
Oh no, I do too. I really like Timothy Dalton, but that movie could be better.
Okay. Dom, any preference? I think is your preference Sean Connery, which makes this remarkably easier.
Connery, yeah, and more. I think that controversial. I don't think there's too much to choose between them, really. But then again, I only half remember Bond films, and quite often I mix them up as to which film it is I'm watching. Like even this one tonight, the second half was like a revelation to me. I think I'd seen it before. I totally didn't remember it, but yeah.
Yes. Well, for those who aren't based in the UK and of a certain age, Bond films were showing every single bank holiday. So US, you don't have bank holiday, you have President's Day, and is Memorial Day one of them? I don't know.
Well, if you remember with American Beauty, Kevin Spacey says, "I guess I'm missing the Bond marathon on TNT." So there was
Right.
always a time each year where they would play a Bond marathon.
Oh no, we just got a lucky dip for Christmas, Easter, anything like that. Bond was always on. I don't
As
think
he
it
should
got
be.
well as it should be,
He's an
as it isn't anymore,
he's a
unfortunately.
national treasure for you guys.
He is about to be besmirched, but we'll get into that
Okay.
at some point. Who wants to go first? Can I? I know Joe. I know you're dying to go, but Dom,
I
come
want to
on.
go last actually
You're gonna go
because
last. Okay,
I
I'll go in the
know what
middle.
the general feeling is. So
Um,
Yeah, let me go first because just let me get my embarrassment out the way, and then you two can actually fill in the facts of the more astute observations. So, yes, our first trip to the '60s for this pod, so that felt like a nice step for us.
yes,
And
yeah, definitely.
yeah, my God, it has been a while since I've seen a Bond film, and although it's not a bank holiday here in the UK today, it was a wet, windy February Sunday, and I was watching Bonds. That somehow felt appropriate, and it was just a wave of nostalgia straight from the start. So you got the classic MGM lion roaring and the Bond intro theme when he fires at the screen in the way that he does, and within the first 5 minutes, what's it? He's seduced a woman, killed a man with a quip. Shocking, hasn't he? He's appeared looking cool as flip at a club in his white tuxedo. So it just gives the public what they want, and then the song as well, an absolute classic song. I don't know if it's the best one, but it's got to be in the top three Bond songs. So just a really strong start, really solid, fast paced, iconic scenes that are kind of become cultural reference points. If they make it into The Simpsons, then it's kind of registered on the public consciousness. However, you can also see why Austin Powers made so much money
Yeah.
and was so seductive as well, because it's definitely ripe for satire and pastiche, isn't it, as a film and as a franchise and a series. And I do think that the second half of the film suffers by comparison. The whole Fort Knox plot's just ridiculous in conception, execution, and implementation. So, I don't know, some of the plotting's pretty dodgy, some gaping plot holes in it, and amazing how much the film hinges on him being in the right place at the right time to eavesdrop on some critical plot point. But it's hard to score, isn't it? What are you scoring it against? The kind of spectrum of all available films as a standalone Bond film as part of this Bond canon. So I'm glad the film exists. It was a lovely wave of nostalgia for me, and Bond is an iconic institution, which is I'm proud this country produced. objectively, it feels like a film of two uneven halves. And so I'm going to now disgrace myself in both of your eyes and give it a 6 out of 10. Sorry,
Wow.
guys.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. I was looking for a flicker of emotion on Joe's face on that one.
I was making emotes.
Joe's just snapped a pencil in half as he off camera.
So I'm losing to Jin.
Well, I'll go next. There's no doubt when we talked about presence, Connery has presence in this film. He just looks incredible in every shot. The flamboyant, laid-back playboy when he's just wherever he is, it's just you can't take your eyes off him. He's just very good. Unfortunately, he's the only good thing in this. Gert Frobe is good as Goldfinger, but the plot just annoyed me. Really annoyed me to the point where it was nonsensical that the thing that should have happened wasn't happening. So yeah, the second half of the film, I just went, oh, who's making this? I mean, what is this trying to achieve? And Thunderball is the better film, in my mind. I think it's better. I think it's maybe not the best Bond film of all time, but it's certainly the best Sean Connery one. And I just I just preferred it. Bond Girls, yeah, the one at the start was pretty nice. Honor Blackman, of course, Emma Peel in the Avengers over here. So
she was Emma Peel. I thought it was the other one.
Oh, was it Honor Blackman?
Wasn't she?
I can't think of her name. She's a dame. She's a real dame over there.
There's nothing like a dame.
What's her name? You guys don't know who Emma Peel is? I can't remember her name.
No, I thought it was Honor Blackman.
It's a fancy British lady. I'm sorry for interrupting. Keep going.
All right, okay. So yeah, unfortunately, this doesn't weather well, and I was just basically open mouthed at quite a lot of the scenes and going, I know it's going to get to the end. Talk about a uneven start. Bond credits, the pre-credit scenes are, supposed to be iconic with some of the best things. This one, flat as a pancake. The villain, the ending of the villain was over. If you blinked and it was gone. And I was like, right, okay, I'm annoyed. Unfortunately, Joe, I'm going to have to probably annoy you and give it a 5 out of 10. I won't watch it again. Unfortunately.
Oh, it was expected.
Wait a minute. This is our hero. We're not happy about giving these scores, but over to you.
By the way, it was Diana Rigg who played Emma Peel.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, that feels like point number one where Joe's going to put you in your place now, and you're going to be the equivalent of getting your windscreen machine guns now. Yeah, but I mean, shooting me is like shooting fish in a barrel, but this is where you're going to get taken down a peg or two in your Bond knowledge. Go on, Joe, unleash hell.
No, I'll say when I first saw this movie, I was a kid, so I probably enjoyed it just for that because I thought it was cool. I mean, again, you had really cool cars. Bond was awesome. You had the villain just being sucked out of a window at the end. I mean, I just couldn't. I remember when I saw it next day at school, I couldn't stop talking about it. I was like, it's the best movie I've ever seen. I mean, that's like when you're a kid. As an adult, while seeing this movie, I still think it's a really good Bond movie. And, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, just I think for the way that, I guess, nostalgia. I mean, Sean Connery is such an awesome Bond. I think you guys are going to disagree. I think that Goldfinger is probably one of the best villains we have. He's the most memorable one. I'm pretty sure if you were on like a show like Family Feud or I don't know, any kind of like quiz show, and they said, name a James Bond villain, Goldfinger would probably pop up first. I don't think like maybe someone might say Jaws or anything, but Goldfinger is just so memorable. I mean, people are going to forget Blofeld, to be honest with you, but Goldfinger's in the friggin' title, And I just think it's a lot of fun. I mean, there are some of the story kind of falls apart a little bit, but it's still a fun story though. I have no problem with the story myself, like what his plan was. It just like kind of put a spin to the whole movie, which I guess they were trying to. Well, Ian Fleming was, and again, what Ian Fleming writes doesn't necessarily end up on the screen. So who knows if it was the screenwriters.
Yeah, it wasn't, in fact, because there was a big talk about plot holes. In Ian Fleming's original one, the plot was to steal all the gold from Fort Knox, and that was kind of quite widely criticised when the book was published. And so they got Sean Connery to actually articulate that. It would take 12 days and a team of 24 people with copious numbers of trucks to do it. So that kind of radioactive gold and destroying the economy was invented by the screenwriters. And I think it does address that fairly massive plot hole, which otherwise would have existed.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, sorry, Joe.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I will talk about the film, but again, it's I think it's one of the best Bond films that they've made, and they've made a lot of Bond films, and I guess we can kind of talk about the future of Bond if you want to.
Oh yes,
And,
yeah, because we didn't pick this, did we? This is coincidentally this week. There's been a whole lot of Bond news, hasn't there? So do you want to talk us through that, Joe?
Or should we watch the trailer and then get to it on the other side?
Yeah, okay, let's do that.
What do you reckon? Okay, let's watch the trailer.
Stop. Look. He's gunning for trouble. 007. It spells Bond.
Shocking.
He's the idol of every woman.
Who are you?
Bond. James Bond.
The envy of every man. The nemesis of the treacherous Mr. Goldfinger. Goldfinger, a triumph in thrill-making cinema entertainment.
The man with the mind.
A three-time winner for Fleming's Secret Agent 007.
Who are you?
My name is Pussy Galore.
Isn't it customary to grant the condemned man his last request?
You've asked for this.
Come and purr over Honor Blackman as Pussy Galore. The female who is all feline. Also starring Gert Frober as Goldfinger. International cheat. International menace.
Gentlemen! Goldfinger, why weren't we told the New York and the West Coast were in on this?
Goldfinger, I made a delivery. Where is my money?
And you owe me $1 million.
Goldfinger, the man with a finger in every pie. His goal, Fort Knox, the world's biggest bank. His enemy, 007, the world's wiliest, toughest gentleman agent with a license to kill. 007, it spells Bond.
I'm sorry for any trailer aficionados out there that actually know that trailer off by heart. It has been cut. It's 3 minutes, and it's such a long slog over 3 minutes. It's pretty much the whole film. And you're like, so we've cut it down slightly because we do care about you and your listening ears, very fragile as they may be. So yeah, that was a trailer. What do you both think?
I think it's good that you're so sensitive to our viewers and listeners' needs, because we've been having the boot put in, haven't we? On the comments section has been, by our standards, on fire this last 2 weeks since our last pod, Name of the Rose, that classic which you didn't finish watching, Charlie, lest we forget. And we've had a lack of support there. Yeah. So listeners, it's never a good thing to blame the customers. Not many of you are actually paying for this, but yeah, where was the support? Where were the waves of loyal fans piling into supporters? So yeah, we've made the edits to the trailers just for you. We expect, they demand your support on if we get the boot put into us below the line again. Yeah,
absolutely. Circle the wagons, rally the troops. That's what we expected. But anyway, we fought alone. We fought valiantly. And we did get some nice comments about Blue Thunder. So, yeah, thank you for that. Can I address one big... I don't know where we're going to start with this, because actually, didn't we not say... Sorry, we did say before the trailer we were going to discuss the future of Bond. So let's go into that one. Joe, do you want to explain what happened this week?
Well, Amazon purchased, I guess, the rights to the James Bond movie several years ago. Before that, it was Cubby Broccoli, and I forget who the other guy was that produced the majority of the Bond, well, all the Bond films basically. And his daughter took over after he passed away. So they were fighting over the direction of Bond and all this. And I guess at some point, Amazon had enough, or Barbara Broccoli had enough and said, "That's it, I'm out." So from going forward, Amazon will decide the direction of what's going to happen to Bond, including any kind of spin-offs, TV series, or so forth. But I mean, what are your opinions on it? Because I have my own opinion on it, but which you might be surprised with.
Well, I don't know. Do you first? Yeah.
I was to say, just for me, you summed it up brilliantly with that little cartoon that you put on our WhatsApp thread, which you must now post in the YouTube link so that our viewers can see it. Because yeah, that summed it up really. They're just going to milk it for all it's worth in increasingly set of disappointing spin-offs and prequels and all that sort of nonsense, aren't they?
Well, they ruined Jack Ryan, so it's reasonable to expect that they'll ruin
Lord of the Rings. They ruined Lord of the Rings.
Well, and I was just about to point out, Lord of the Rings sucks under Amazon's tutelage, and what they'll do is they'll take all the fun out of it. It'll be dark. It'll be brooding. Bond will be black, by the way. There's no getting away from that. That's what's going to happen now. Amazon will just woke the hell out of it. And if it wasn't bad enough that Bond was married or Bond had, had a family in the other one, then yeah, get ready for massive disappointments. And all you'll do is go back and you'll go, do you know what? Can I go back and watch Goldfinger? And it'll be 34 minutes long because they'll have made that many cuts and taken out that many stuff that you won't be able to watch it. So the rest of the films are being coherent, and they go, don't worry about those. Come over to I say family friendly. They're not really. Here's our idea of what it should be. And every time somebody watches a preview on Amazon, a preview of the Bond thing that they've created, whether it's a film or a spin-off or, a Q origin story or something like that, that's going to come at some point. And every time that little snippet comes up that you watch, they'll count that as a watch, and they'll go, "Oh, millions of people have tuned in to watch James Bond." No, they haven't. 6 people are watching it, right? The rest of them have moved on. So, from my point of view, this is the worst possible news if you're a Bond fan. But I stopped being a Bond fan a while ago because No Time to Die was rubbish. Quantum of Solace was rubbish. Spectre was rubbish. Skyfall was passable, and Casino Royale was all right. Daniel Craig wasn't a good Bond for me. So, yeah, if I cared, then it would be really.
Says the man who's just finished a 10-minute rant. Not
sorry. Anyway,
but, yeah, well.
So yeah, that's what I think.
Joe,
Have we lost Joe? Oh no.
Joe. Joe. I'm sure that. Oh, here he is.
Oh, he's back.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I lost you guys, but I'm back. Okay. Yeah, I'll be honest with you, I really don't care. Part of the reason is that they've butchered Bond so much in the recent years that they're going to butcher him again. I mean, when you look at it, there's like 25, 26 James Bond movies that have been made. And I would say more than half of them aren't really good movies. And there's going to be bad movies. There's going to be good movies. I mean, Amazon might surprise us and make a good one. If they give us a TV series, I don't know if I'm going to like that at all. I probably won't watch it. But in the end, I just know that at some point we're going to have another good Bond movie, whether by Amazon or another company that acquires it. Again, there have always been dark days for Bond fans, or dark times, and we're just going to have to sit through this until we get good ones. But we also have, like Charlie said, all the good ones to go back to, and there's quite a few that we can go back to.
But again, they'll be cut, Joe. They'll go back and put trigger warnings or something like that on it, or whatever. There'll be something on that, and they'll just basically take it away.
I don't know if Amazon would do that because they've been showing the Bond movies on Amazon Prime for a while, and they haven't done it yet. So I can't see them putting trigger warnings on there.
Yeah, but you get a team of young writers, and next thing you know, it all changes.
But I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they decide, like he said, well, we need a black James Bond, we need a female James Bond, we need a lesbian James Bond, we need a midget James Bond. We need, it's gonna get
Are we allowed
into
to say?
that.
Don't know if the algorithm picks up midget, Joe. I think you were all right with the others, but that one might. And I've just done it. So yes, you said it 3 times now.
Say one more time and he'll appear.
Well,
We'll say a very small person.
Yeah, I don't know, what is it? It's a person of diminutive stature. Is that right? I don't know.
Well, look, we're pessimistic looking forwards, but that obviously does mean that there's something to celebrate looking backwards, which probably
Yes.
gets us back onto this film, doesn't it? And there's a massive nostalgia can be a dangerous thing, can't it? But there's a massive, healthy, positive slab of nostalgia, I think, watching this. And as I saw it unfold, the kind of scenes that were set in Miami Beach early on, I just imagined how they must seem to like a British cinema audience in 1964, kind of, still a world of post-war austerity by some measures. The swinging 60s are kind of slightly begun, but not really. Certainly not for most working class folk in the UK. To go to a cinema and see all this unfold in front of you in amazing Technicolor, Miami Beach looking impossibly bright and sunny and glamorous.
Yeah.
Seductive. That's why it was such a massive hit. I'm sure it was gorgeous. Even I looked at that wistfully on a wet February afternoon and thought, wouldn't mind being there, really.
Yeah. Well, if you are sat in a rainy place in Peckham and watching this, then yeah, I suppose it looks absolutely glorious. Can I address something? So I've got things that I think are wrong in this film, and one of them is, there's that scene in Austin Powers where he goes, "Look, you've got him there. Just blow him away. Just why are you doing this elaborate thing in order that he's going to escape from?" He's like, "Scotty, you just don't get it, right?" But in this one, when he's outed as actually not having any information that caused him not to be lasered, that caused doors not to happen. Why didn't he just kill him? Why is he dragging him around for the rest of the film? I was almost like, well, no, we've got a seat for you. Yeah, it's fine. Just come along with us. I know you're a secret agent, and I know that obviously you could kill me with just one hard stare, potentially. But no, I've got a seat for you on the plane, that you can use my ranch. You can shag my PA. You can do whatever you like for my friend. What would you like? Short of like giving him a buffet. What? That makes no sense.
Well, I think that they knew the CIA was involved, with Felix Leiter and all that. And remember, like when he called out Pussy Galore to go dress up and be very nice to Mr. Bond, so that because they knew that they were spying on them from a few feet away with binoculars. And it was like, we just want to give the appearance that he's here on his own free will and that he's having a marvelous time and all that. So they had to have known, again, that the government could have stepped in at any time to stop them, especially if Bond was killed. So I think that's why he kept him alive as much as he did. Well, you're saying, why didn't he kill him? Oh, well, he did say he knew what Operation Grand Slam was.
Yeah.
And so if he knew what Operation Grand Slam and other people knew what it was, then it would have failed when they did on the day that they decided to do it.
What did they gain by keeping him alive?
They wanted to know what he knew, who knew it.
Yeah, and he didn't tell him.
Maybe they didn't ask those questions, but maybe that's why they kept him alive.
I think it's a valiant attempt, Joe. I think I'm with Charlie on this. The precise logic flaws that led to, because ultimately the plot point where it hinged on the spoiler alert, the raid on Fort Knox being unsuccessful was because Pussy Galore put on a allegedly sexy outfit. That wasn't that sexy, was it? Just showed a bit of cleavage. He then has a karate fight, or karate, as some might call it, in the stables, and then seduces her, makes love to her, it's implied, and after that she just puts dud. She tips off the CIA, and they don't put proper nerve agents in the planes, do they? So if he hadn't dipped his wick in that barn, then have gone off more successfully. I mean, clearly it's a fairly easily preventable plot anyway in reality, but that was the bit that made it go wrong. So Charlie's right. Should have just shot him dead in Switzerland, and he would have had much better chance of making it.
But it's also very funny too. Like when, I mean, we don't see that scene where he convinces her to change sides. And it's like, what did she say? All right, I'm going out for some eggs and bacon. I'll be right back. Like how does she notify the government or the CIA that, what the plan is going to be? And then we'll change all of the gas and all that.
His performance he must be a demon in the sack, because she was getting a Bermudan island out of this, wasn't she? If she'd gone along with her original mass murdering, economic destabilization plots, and so one roll in the hay with him, and that's it. And she's turned sides, and not only has she informed the CIA and alerted everyone at Fort Knox, but they've gone through this elaborate charade of everybody falling over and pretending to faint when the planes are going over, and they've dress rehearsed all of that and managed to pull it off. So it's
I thought they'd have to the poor guy that would be in the passenger seat of the Jeep. Well, we have to make this look convincing. Well, what we're going to do? I'm just going to slump over. I'm going to hit a tree. Where's the seatbelt? There are no seatbelts.
It's and then we're gonna let this play out. We're gonna go along with it, pretend it's all in order, but we're gonna leave it on an absolute knife edge. So that they get within a whisker of actually being successful in their plot. Why don't they just ambush them as soon as they go through the doors? No. We're gonna rely on some absolute Heath Robinson style solution to come off by dumb luck, and the time is going to be turned off with 007 seconds left on the clock. I thought that was perhaps slightly unlikely in retrospect.
Yes, and also, who's this general? Who's this fat general that doesn't speak American?
But they do that in all. They do that in a ton of movies. I mean, you could even bring up Raiders of the Lost Ark when Indiana Jones is chasing the Nazis. Why didn't they just shoot him? I guess they tried to shoot him, but it's just ridiculous. I mean, they could have done away with him easily. It's like, no, we'll just put him in a pit of snakes because we know he doesn't like snakes or something like that. Instead of just
but at least they tried
to
kill him. At least they tried to kill him. In this one, there's gets a 5-star buffet. It's like, again, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, he's so smooth too. That's the whole thing. I mean, maybe he charmed Goldfinger too. For all you know. I don't know. I still think it's a fun movie, especially if you're introduced to Bond early in life. I'm not saying when you're 3 years old, put your kid in front of there, but when you're a kid and you want to see a spy movie, it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. I guess back then in the day, we didn't have anything like that. I mean, we might have had Mission Impossible, but it still was not at the level that James Bond was.
You had MacGyver and stuff like that.
Well, that was after the fact for me anyway. Okay. But I don't know. It's just, I think it's got a lot of charm. And like Dom was saying, you can't beat that song, Goldfinger. Shirley Bassey is awesome. She's done 3 James Bond songs because she's just so great. And it's a very memorable song. I think he does a great performance in this. I disagree with Charlie. Thunderball to me gets very boring very quickly, especially with all the underwater stuff. Just too much underwater. I know you like probably because they snorkel all the time, but for people that haven't snorkeled, they can fall asleep very quickly.
Snorkel? You think I stay on the? You think I stay on the
or scuba diving or whatever?
Like a child in a swimming pool.
Well, maybe you have a very long snorkel.
How did you mean proper scuba diving? I'm a paddy open water diver, thank you.
I once called this guy who took table tennis really seriously. I called it ping pong. I think he lost his shit completely. So yeah, I think you just committed the equivalent faux pas there. But yeah,
I could call it whiff waff.
So when you're out snorkeling in Greece, then Charlie, do you ever
I'm not snorkeling in Greece.
I'm gonna go scuba diving, but then I'm gonna go on the pull afterwards. Obviously not anymore, but I'll go out with some threads on. Maybe not a white dinner jacket, but do you ever go kind of suited and booted underneath your scuba gear?
Greece?
Yeah, I'm thinking that's what he did in his.
You don't think of James Bond when you're under the water and
walk out onto the beach.
There's a little bit of that, yeah.
undo your zipper and kind of there you are, white dinner jacket or whatever the modern day equivalent of that is. No,
And then sometimes, if you get like a big eel down there, for some reason the music from Jaws 2 comes into my head, and I'm like,
Jaws 2 out of
yeah, weirdly.
Not Jaws 1?
No, not the first one, because of the divers in Jaws 2. And I think of that music when they're under there and they're getting attacked, and I'm like, yeah, it's probably best to put that out of your mind. There's no sharks in Greece. I'm absolutely fine. The only bad thing that ever happened to me was if I'd surfaced at the time, a speedboat that was rented by people might have just hit me, but yeah, it wasn't that close, but close enough. Anyway, thank you for starting to demean what I worked very hard to do, and I'll take my snorkel with me on holiday.
Look, I think Joe's right trying to talk about some of the things that work about this film, because although I gave it a 6, for me the first half of the film is an 8 out of 10. I think it's really, really good, lots to love. But before we go on to the good stuff, we just dwell on the lows, because I think that mafia scene is just ridiculous, where he gets the kind of West Coast mob, the New York mob, and the Chicago mob together, and they don't know of each other's existence. Goes through this unbelievably detailed presentation on what he's about to plan, including scale models and wall displays. And after he's gone through this elaborate routine, proceeds to kill them all. So what the hell was the point in that? Those people felt so badly out of place in this film with their kind of stereotypical. What's that with a we're doing accents again. This is me clipped from heading to shore. What's that with a fake a pool table? Is that more French? I don't know. Sorry, listeners. But the mafia. Well, spoiler alert: we may be exploring some mafia themed films in our next few reviews. If they're anything like the clowns in this, then I think it'll be a 0 out of 10 for what comes next.
A plus. I was thinking that scale model. Surely it would trigger somebody somewhere going, why is he ordering better things for Fort Knox? Why is he ordering the little soldiers? Why is he doing all of this? Could he be planning something at some point? The scale model company goes, I think something's up here. And you're like, yeah.
What about putting eye holes so that James Bond could peek out from the model of Fort Knox?
And so he does that. He describes it using the model, and then he starts banging on about something else, and he gets the same thing. And I'm like, we've just seen what you want to do. It's fine. I mean, use a PowerPoint, man.
How long did he spend on that model, though? I could just imagine the Chinese are wanting to go through the finer points of the nuclear explosion he's going to detonate. It's like, no, look, sorry, I haven't got time for this. I'm just going to finish these trees. And do you think this is the right shade of green for the golf course? It's like, oh, my God. Wow. It's...
Even with all that goofiness, I still would not have it cut out of the film. I just still love the movie. But I do think it's funny, like that other guy that basically Odd Job kills in the limousine or whatever, and then they bring him to the junkyard, and then they smash him into bits with the gold in the car. Why wouldn't Odd Job just take the gold out?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. And then they have to go through that extraction process, don't they? Which is going to be absolutely disgusting and grim. It's like this splattered, brain covered gold.
It could be like Omar Sharif in Top Secret, where he's just wandering around in his squished car.
But I'm sure some of his henchmen are like cool bones, and it's like, and I was like, oh, there we go. We did that. We made a full bar of gold or a couple of bars of gold, out of that guy's ass.
Anyway, right. Have we done enough of the negatives? Should we go on to the positives?
Yes. Well, should we talk women? Because we're three men on here, aren't we? And this is clearly we're going to lose even more of our female listenership by doing a James Bond film anyway. That's my opening sweeping sexist statement. Let's rate the women in this film. So I'm going to go out there and be controversial, and I'm going to say that the nicest one in here is Jill Masterson, the one that plays her. The actress is called Shirley Eaton.
Controversial.
She did remind. There was a personal twist there. She did remind me of a lass I once knew. Yeah, very similar to her girlfriend I once had. But she's gorgeous. And if anyone doesn't remember which shirt she is, listeners, she's the one that ends up getting painted gold. So yeah.
No, that's no.
Oh, hang on, now I'm getting mixed up, aren't I? Yes.
Oh no, you are right. No, Jill Masterson. Yeah. No, Shirley Eaton is Jill Masterson. Tilly Masterson is his sister. No. Oh yeah, Shirley. You went out with a girl that looked like Shirley Eaton. Congrats, man. She is my favorite Bond girl by far. I mean, she's just so beautiful ever.
Oh,
Whoa.
I thought that was a more controversial choice because she's kind of a
No, I
bit
think you
girl
meant
next
Tilly
door
at
in
first.
No, the one that gets painted gold. Yeah, no, she's gorgeous. Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, she died way too quickly in this movie. She had an incredible body, incredible face. She just was so beautiful. I mean, I would say if I had to name Bond girls, I think Barbara Bach comes close, but I don't know. I mean, I think she just
You've got an odd
is the
choice in
top.
Bond girls.
Why? Who's yours?
Sophie Marceau.
Oh, that would be like on the bottom.
Oh, right. One of the most beautiful women in French
Yeah,
cinema.
whatever.
Yeah, fine.
Whatever.
Fine.
Sorry, French listeners. But
Well,
we're at
that's-
war with
that's-
everybody, so I don't care.
That's the 6 that we've got in France. Good. Suddenly reduced to 3 now. Stick with us.
Jane Seymour, she was pretty hot.
Jane Seymour. What?
What? Live and Let Die?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Out of
Not even gonna talk
wait a minute.
about
Out
that.
of all the Bond girls, you're going after like Jane Seymour.
Oh yeah, what if I had my choice? Yeah, I mean, and they were all the same age. Yeah, it'd be Shirley Eaton, probably first, Barbara Bach, Jane Seymour. Dom has just got question marks over his head. You don't remember?
I don't know
girls?
all of those, but no, I was just delighted with your endorsement of Shirley Eaton. Yeah, I think that's a
she's
solid
so
choice.
hot.
That's
She looks like a Marilyn Monroe, British version of Marilyn Monroe. I'll say.
She does.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Amen to that. Well, this film was all about happy memories and nostalgia, and yeah, that's certainly triggered a few. So good. Go on, Charlie. Let's just kind of digging this hole. So where
I'm
girls then?
Bond girls. Yeah, Sophie Marceau. I didn't like any.
Who is she? And one of the worst movies too.
Mariam Darbo. I think in Living Daylights.
She was all right. She was okay.
Good. Yeah. Yeah, probably those.
Okay.
I was pleasantly surprised by Shirley Eaton. So yes, that was quite nice.
All right, we've rated the women. Let's rate the songs. Where does this one sit in the hierarchy of Bond songs? Must be
Not
in the
even
top
top,
for us all.
not even top 10.
Oh, Jesus.
You're a
so
contrarian.
brutal.
aren't you?
Not even top 10. Oh, maybe top 10. Maybe 10.
Go on then. Do you have a top 3?
Yes, I do. Spy Love Me, Carly Simon, Nobody Does It Better. It's the best Bond film of all, best Bond theme song of all time. License to Kill by Gladys Knight, and From Russia with Love. Well, no, it's either From Russia with Love or I'd go for Moonraker, which is
That's Shirley Bassey as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
No,
It is.
Oh, I'm thinking.
Moonraker is from the movie Moonraker.
I'm
and
thinking
it's
of
by
Rita-
Shirley Bassey.
I'm thinking of Rita Coolidge, All Time High, and I can't remember which one that was.
That song sucks so
It
bad.
doesn't suck at all.
It's
a great
horrible.
song. It's a great
It's like
song.
John, like basically, if it describes James Bond, it's like him going into a retirement home. It's so old folky. It's awful, absolutely awful. One of the worst James Bond songs ever made.
Not Skyfall.
Skyfall, I think, is really good.
Okay.
Nobody does it better though. I think that's
Yeah.
probably my favourite. Yeah, there's a Tom York Radiohead version of that, which is absolutely brilliant as well. But the originals.
I think you introduced me to it. Yes.
Yeah, Live and Let Die.
No. Paul McCartney. No.
Yeah, Guns N' Roses, whichever version you like. Yeah.
Yeah, I must have missed that Guns N' Roses version in the '78 classic. Axl Rose is a child.
Their remix of it. Slash when he had short hair. Yeah.
No, I would say Nobody Does It Better too is like at my top, and
there we go.
Goldfinger, like Diamonds Are Forever.
Yeah. They're good. There are bad ones. What other good things can we say about this? I think the styling is pretty good. I think the styling is 60s, really, really good.
I noticed at the time they must have spent a ton of their budget on suits for him. He was changing suits left and right.
I noticed the tailoring as well. I mean, Connery does look great naturally. He's
Yeah.
obviously a good-looking guy and got a great physique, but yeah, he's got an amazing tailor as well. Just like when he rocks up on the golf course and just looks absolutely, the dog's bollocks there, doesn't he? Yeah, a good Savile Row tailor, I suppose, can do wonders. It made me actually think I need to invest in a new suit. It's about time I got one, to be honest. So yeah, he looks brilliant. The tailoring's fantastic. I agree with that. Just the kind of English landscape, how the country was in the 60s, and not just this country, but the States as well. It looks, well, the past is the past, isn't it? And I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure many people didn't experience it like that, but it looked great. Just the sheer unapologetic patriarchy of it all. When Bond and his boss go for dinner with that banker who kind of gives them the exposition about the value of gold and all that sort of stuff, and they're sitting there with their brandy and cigars and their dinner jackets on. It's just like, who wouldn't want to be part of that, eh?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the best Bond in a way, again, because it's how he was written. I mean, he's into getting fucked. He's into liquor. He's into gambling. He's into fast cars, and a lot of that was taken away in the years because I think it started with, was it GoldenEye? When did the whole AIDS crisis start? Was it around then? Or it might have been Living Daylights too.
I must have missed that scene in the game, in the GoldenEye game, when he goes for an AIDS test. Or you got to run along the hospital corridor waiting for your results. Yeah.
No, the producers are like, no, we can't have sex so many times in the movie because it's just bad messaging to the audience. It's probably the Living Daylights because if I remember correctly,
I think
GoldenEye,
right.
he has sex with a lot of women in that one.
Yes.
Maybe he has to use a condom or something for the first time. Is that right? Does he have to sit there and break off from what he's doing and big sigh, rip it open, stick it on? No, perhaps that's implied as well rather than actually shown. But maybe in the Amazon versions, who knows? Perhaps he'll be having mental health days or duvet days, or he'll be working from home, trying to sort it all out from his spare bedroom. Yeah.
Visit your mum day.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about the car? The car, iconic, yeah?
It is
Agree on
iconic. I
that?
mean, I'm not a huge fan. I've never been a huge fan of the Aston Martin as James Bond's car. I mean, I actually like the Lotus that was in The Spy Who Loved Me. I thought that was an awesome car that would go underwater and see scuba divers and snorkelers going all over the place.
That would be a very all having a battle at the top of the ocean or in a swimming pool. Like, great.
But it is cool. I remember they used to sell a toy back in the day where they had, the Aston Martin from Goldfinger, and they actually had like an ejector seat with a guy in it, and you push a button and he goes flying out. The top comes out, the guy goes flying out. And as a kid, I just searched for that all over, and I just couldn't find it, because it's very limited. It's not like now where you get eBay and like Amazon where you could buy these things.
I have that car. It's up in my mum and dad's loft.
Oh, you bastard.
Yeah, sorry. It had orange little orange things that you put in the back, and you could just go bing, and they just fired up. It's great. Yeah, I've got it somewhere up there. It might be worth quite a bit. Maybe, I don't know, but it's out of the box. Maybe not.
That's what sucks about collectors and stuff like that. You hate this movie and you have that at home.
No, I have the one from Spy Who Loved Me. I have the Lotus.
Oh, I thought you were talking. I was talking about the Aston Martin. What are we doing?
Oh, sorry. All right, okay. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the Lotus. That's the one I've got.
Bringing us back to this film, the car did remarkably well to survive getting machine gunned through the windscreen the way that it did, really, because I'm not quite sure how he survived that. When that random grandmother appears with a machine gun and just lets him have it, and it must have been hit 20 times.
Well, he said Q said it was bulletproof glass in the front.
Ah, right, I missed
on the
that
sides and
point.
the rear.
I did sit there wondering, is it a bit like Pulp Fiction where there's like a perfect outline of his body in bullets or something that just happened to miss? But yeah, I switched off during the briefing. Perhaps I don't think that works well. I know this film sort of set the template for future Bond films, and it was the third in the series, so they invested more budget and they were kind of confident it had found its audience, and then it provided like the template of supervillain, Q session, M session, all that. And I don't know, the Q session's kind of don't do it for me. The whole gadget side of it.
I
It's,
love that.
but they look rubbish though. Like when he's releasing the oil during the car chase with those Koreans who are just treated as indispensable worker drones, and doesn't matter if they're murdered, by the way, in a kind of dubiously racist way. But yeah, that's pretty rubbish, don't you think?
No,
The car chase itself, if I'm honest, I mean, it's a beautiful car, no doubt about it, but many later Bonds weren't as good as the originals. I'd agree with that statement. But like, if you look at Casino Royale, that car chase scene they had there, and I know the technology has come on a long way, and there are more cameras and more budgets and things, but it did make this one look a bit feeble, like a bit of a jaunt through the woods.
and the only good thing you say about Quantum of Solace is the car chase that opens up. That
Oh, that's
which
awful.
is
That's
What?
my least favorite Bond film, Quantum of
Oh,
Solace.
yeah.
no. I meant the car chase. That
Car
starts
chase
the
is
film.
awful. I mean, it's dizzying.
The tunnels in the Alps. It's just
so
incredible.
dizzying. It's like almost done in first person. Like they tried to mimic the Jason Bourne movies, and it just I hate that scene.
Oh wow!
I hate that movie just because of how they filmed it.
Wow.
Well,
Anyway.
the movie doesn't make sense. I've watched it. The first time I saw it at cinema, I didn't know what was happening. I tried and pride myself as somebody who can follow a plot, but I had just no idea what was going on about 3/4 of the way through it.
It's kind of similar to this movie.
Okay. Well, I understood this one. I thought it was a bit strange, but
It's worth pointing out. By the way, I was going to say it's worth pointing out. This film Goldfinger cost $3 million to make, and took 127 million. That's what you call a success. That's incredible. And the critics and the public are on your side, Joe. It's like in the 90s. I think it's 99% Rotten Tomatoes critic score, 89% audience score. Yeah, me and Dom are on the wrong side of this one.
I mean, when you think about it back then too, film was only around for 50 years maybe. And when you see something like this, it's just like it's a new genre in a way. I mean, maybe it's not, but it's the first thing I think of, like James Bond is like super spy and all that. But I was going to say, Dom, when you were talking about, I don't know, were they from Korea, his henchmen?
Yeah.
Or was
Korean.
it just Odd Job? I know Odd Job was Korean.
Well, maybe they were Chinese, I suppose. Yeah, it didn't come out and say it for sure, did it? But yeah, I thought because Odd Job was Korean, I thought that maybe they'd carted them all over. But then again, if the protagonists were Chinese, then
Yeah.
maybe they were. I don't know.
They were probably Chinese because like he gave them like all kung fu outfits, which I thought was nice, to make them feel right at home.
I just think they were like generic people from Asia that didn't really matter if they were killed too much. I don't think as the audience you were supposed to think a bit like Austin Powers, and they've got a family somewhere and they're not coming home to their children.
They just all fell down without the slightest intervention. I mean, the fight scene at the start with the guy and the putting the toaster in the bath with him.
Toaster,
right? Yeah, was it a toaster?
The fan. I think it was a heater.
Right,
something like that.
How much I was like into it. But the fight scenes are shocking in that. So it's like just John Wick never happened.
I think the image of a toaster in that kind of sultry dancers little boudoir would have been a bit of an inconsistent. She's looking all
she doesn't
sexy and glamorous in the bath, and she's got a round of crumpets to have for a supper that night. And, yeah, seems a bit implausible.
Slut would have said, "My toast."
Yeah.
Well, you normally think of toasters in baths.
Yeah, student bedroom, perhaps, but not in that.
Or Groundhog Day.
Dancers.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Are we done with we've done the bad? We've done the good. Are we going to wrap this up now? Or
I just want to mention Pussy Galore.
Okay.
You know, everyone laughs at that name and all that. Yeah, I think she's attractive, but she sounds like she was smoking cigarettes since the age of 3. I mean, she's got that really deep, harsh voice, and I think they could have gone with someone better.
Like Kate Bush.
Kate Bush. Pussy Galore, Kate Bush.
Kate Bush has the gravelly voice. I'm sure that's because the.
I thought you meant like she had these sort of double entendre for her name. That was like the only reason you could possibly have Kate Bush as a contender.
Pussy Galore, Kate Bush. Yeah,
that'd be so great. Like we can see the screen on the screen. Pussy Galore played by Kate Bush.
And poor old Andrea Vagina missed out on it. Still. Right, are we wrapping this up?
What we're saying is so we're wrapping up this this pod and the mini Connery season. What we're
Yeah.
saying our favorite Connery film was from this season. Then, so what have we done? Did The Rock. We did Name of the Rose, which possibly wasn't that one. We did Goldfinger. We did another one, didn't we? What was the other
Hunt
one?
for Red October, which
Hunt
is
for
the
Red
best
October.
one.
I'm saying it was The Rock. Latter day Connery.
Joe, out of the four.
Goldfinger.
Okay, cool. Well, it's nice that we all have a different opinion. It's what makes this podcast so lovely to do. Right, are we going to go into what we're going to do next?
Yeah, you take it away. I think
We've got another. Well, I was going to say an iconic trilogy. It's iconic 2 out of 3, but we are going to do the epic Godfather trilogy, starting obviously with the non-Robert De Niro Godfather Part 1. Is it Godfather Part 1 or Godfather 1?
This is called The Godfather, I think.
All right, okay. But anyway, I am well looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to watching it again. I'm going to be watching it with Tracy, and Tracy's never seen it, so this is going to be great. So it's going to be. I'm going to have somebody next to me with the same eyes watching this. So I cannot wait.
But this is a film. This isn't a movie, is it? So you can't be sitting there with your popcorn or your arm.
No, absolutely.
Cheeky. No, you got to be sitting there like silence, smartphone switched off. Yeah, this isn't something to enjoy. This is something to like appreciate on a different level.
You can see my setup at the moment. Do you think I like have popcorn every time I sick on the telly, watch Tipping Point? Okay, I get the popcorn out.
No. We should watch in different rooms. You need to this needs to be an authentic experience. There's none of this kind of sacking it off after with half an hour left.
You really think that I'd sack off The Godfather?
Right, my confidence has been dented. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, don't get high, Charlie, and say, Fredo, what a fuck.
And listeners, perhaps you support those 2 people that were very unpleasant to us in our YouTube comments the other week, and we're going to up our game for this. We're going to talk about it in a serious way. We're going to do our research. We're going to be here. It's going to be like film school. It's going to be impressive. No swearing, no flights of fancy, no references.
I've got to put more. I've got to put more planning in. All right, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
It's like a logistical challenge. Yeah,
I think it's worth it for these 3. Well, for these 2 and the other one.
Which you are going to watch. You're going to watch.
Yes, we're going to watch it, and we're going to watch the same cut. It's fine.
What did you call me? Same what?
Thick cut.
Well, on that note, let's
like a loaf of bread to me. Okay, so yes, that's what we're going to be doing next. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe. If you've made it this far, I really hope that you already subscribe. And we have got new listeners, so it's an absolute joy. So great. It's lovely to see. Anyway,
Shirley Eaton, if you're still out there thinking of me, I'm thinking of you. So get in touch in the comments. Get in touch in the comments.
You'll be 80 now.
Yes, exactly.
my Shirley Eaton, not the Shirley Eaton. She's still alive.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was thinking of Shirley Eaton going, "Oh boy, some young meats there."
Oh, yeah, you were so good. Anyway, right. On that note, I'm going to say cheerio.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.